First off, I'm not an artist. I have very little artistic talent. I'm limited to modifying existing art and stick figures. Some of these applications may not pertain to you. You might be familiar with, you might just find boring, or whatever the case. So I added chapters so you can skip around. I'm first going to cover PowerPoint, then Windows Movie Maker in conjunction with Microsoft Paint,
Hello.
Sound Recorder,
Me too.
finally converting it all to video. All right, so here we have a simple house I drew. I'm sure some of the artistic types out there could probably do a much better job than what I have. But just real quick, I want to show you how I put the house together. Uh, on PowerPoint here, I've got an option for a line. So you click on line, and I'm going to try to remember to tell you whether I'm left clicking or right clicking. Sometimes you've got to do one or the other. So I'm going to left click here, put my line on the screen as straight as possible. Now I'm going to double right click on the line. And that's going to bring up these properties, not the properties I was looking for, but it's basically what, yeah. Anyway, so here you can manually adjust the size of the line. If I bump that up, you can see how it changes here. If I do a preview, you can see how it gets thicker there. The other option would be to use this drop down here, go right to the, whatever size you want. We can change the color of the line. We can make it red. I can make it dashed. So I have a red dashed line now. The other option would be to put arrows or bullets, for instance, on the line. You have your choice of several options there. Um, so let me just put those back real quick. So when you right click, this is what I was looking for. I wanted to right click that and click on Format Auto Shape, and that would have brought that back box up. But I guess, yeah. Well, it's not doing it now when I double click on it. Double right click, that is. Okay, so now the other option would be to come up to Insert, double left click on Insert, select Picture, Auto Shapes. And here in the Auto Shapes you have a lot of different options to choose from for things that you want to put on your page. So I could have come here for the line. In fact, this is what I do most of the time. I totally forget this is even down there. So you can put a line in. Let's do one this way. There we go. We have a line. In fact, you can even take this box, and I don't know why I don't do this, but you could drop it in there so it's available for you all the time. You don't have to constantly, go up to the menu every time. All right, so I'm going to double right click on this line. Format. I just want to make that thicker mostly. I don't care about the color right now. And I can move that and connect that point to the other point. So now we have the two lines connected. Yeah, somewhere in there. But anyway, that's basically how I connected, put the lines together for the house. The other option would be to come into your shapes here. I can choose a square or rectangle, whatever I want to make it. Drag that, left click and drag your pointer across the screen, then release and it creates the square. Right click, double right click that is, format auto shape, and then you can select what color you want it to be. Well, it's already blue. We'll go green. And then you have, you can make it more green, less green, however you want to do it. And that was how I created these shapes. Now you see how this is on top of everything else. The other thing you can do is you right click and it's probably a double right click, but anyway, go to order. You can bring things to the front, send things to the back, either way you want to go. You can send things all the way back. I'm going to send this all the way to the back, and now I can see the outline of my house again. And this is basically how I constructed the house. So let's get rid of this. I'm just going to left click on it, hit delete on my keyboard, delete, left click, delete. Come up here to slideshow and go to custom animation. So from here, what you do is you select one of the objects on the screen, for instance, this lower bottom line, that is here. And what you can do is add effects. You can do an entrance, exit, everything's laid out there. You can read motion paths. We'll get into that a little bit later. Once you have something set as far as how you want it to appear, You can come down here, use this drop down arrow, you can set up different effect options. You can add sound, you can set up the timing for how long you want it to take before it displays on the screen. You can set things up to show up when you click your mouse. This one I think I have set up, let's see, this is set up for start after previous. So as soon as you click on the mouse, then that one will start. It could also be set as a start with previous. So as soon as you click on the mouse, it starts with with that one, which is I think what I did with this one here. Yeah, start with previous. So this particular line here, and you can notice when I click on these different ones, it changes over here. You can see which ones I'm referring to. But once you have all your on, you can you can move them around using this order. If I didn't want that one there, I wanted to start further down the line, I could move it all the way down the line, or if I had something from the bottom, I can move it up. Um, and you can play that and you can preview it, see what it does. So there are a lot of different entrance types of effects that you can choose from. Each one of these has a different look to it. Let's see, that's up here. Let's see if it'll show us. Yeah. Actually, let me do the box, the brown box. It probably might show a little bit better. That's this one. So it flashes. Here's what peek in looks like. Random bars, wipe, wheel. So you have a lot of options to choose from there. You'll just have to get in and play with them to see what you like best. A rectangle. Yeah, I don't remember what that was set at. Another one we look at here. I'll show you with this one first off. So let me play this real quick. So the way we accomplish this is I'm going to insert a double left click, a text box, and I want the letter D, capital D. I want to set that to, I don't know how big the other one is. Well, it's definitely bigger than 72. Let's see. 177. Okay. So when I come in here, I'm going to type on my keyboard 177, enter. There we go. And I'm going to right click on it and select font. Where is font on here? Right there. And we can do some fun stuff with this. You can make it bold, italic. I think italic is what the other one is. Preview. There we go. Italic. I can emboss, shadow. There we go. We'll go with the shadow. And that's what that looks like. I'm going to move that right about here. And then, oh, go back to font real quick. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Format text box. I don't think it's the text box I want. It's the actual font. Oh, there it is, color. I didn't see it. So I can make that a light blue. There we go. So now it's light blue. So if I select this and go to slideshow, double F click on slideshow, go to custom animation. I'm already in custom animation. It's not, well, okay, so since I'm there already, motion path. I want it to go to the left. So I'm going to click on left and there it goes. So now it's going to show me this line on the screen that I can use to adjust. I can left click on that little dot there. Excuse me. I can drag that over to where I want it roughly. I do a quick play and then that'll go all the way over to that point. That's a little bit further than I want. Bring that back a bit. play. There we go. And then I can click on this again. I'm going to add another motion path. Where's down? Down, 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 right there. So there is down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to left click on this. I'm going to drag this all the way over to the other one. And probably bring this one up a little bit. There we go. So now if I play that, it'll do that. Of course, now it won't go down because this is selected set. It's set for a mouse click. So I want to do that to start after previous. So if we go to the slideshow, in fact, let me move this slide up so it starts first. And I do a single click here, and then it'll go down. Whereas if I had it set with mouse click, I'd have to click again in order for it to, go through that next step. Okay, file and show. And that is basically how to set up the movement. Now, as far as the sound goes, click on the down movement and click on Effect Options. There's sound right there. You can click on Other Sounds and go to a folder. Here I have a sound called sliding. So I double left click on that, click OK, and that's what that does. So if we go back to our slideshow, comes over, and it slides down. And that's how you add sound to something like that. So it's not too hard, pretty straightforward. Now putting that on video is something a little bit different. One of the things you'll double left click on File, go to Page Setup. So this page is set up for basically like it's a standard sheet of paper basically. It doesn't have the same aspect ratio that you would find for video, and there are two different main aspect ratios. The standard one is 4:3, and then the widescreen is 16:9. So I'm going to put 16 in here for widescreen, and then 9. But that could cause some issues here. Notice how it's changed my when I changed the size of the page, it's now changed my image, or changed all my settings. So if we tried to play that, things aren't quite lining up the way they should. So I'm going to move this down a little bit there. It's really off, yeah. So it's all got to get moved. That's better. All right, so now if we're going to convert that to a video, what we'll have to do is go to Slideshow again, View Slideshow, and what I'm looking for is I want this area to fit a 1280 by 720 display. So I have to grab the my corner of my window and I have to drag that out until it fits the window with which I'm recording with. So I adjust that up here and pull that right to there. So now when this records, it should come out looking like a standard widescreen display, a 1280 by 720p resolution basically. So that's how you do that. So I think that pretty much wraps up the quick little presentation I wanted to do with PowerPoint. So next we're going to move on to Windows Movie Maker. Oh, there was one other thing I forgot to mention, and that was in regards to audio or incorporating sounds in with PowerPoint. So there are 4 ways I'm going to show here. So I'm going to double left click on Insert, come down to Movies and Sound and choose Record Sound. Um, the, this will record sound, but the quality is it's not that great, really, my opinion. Maybe I'm setting it up wrong. I don't know, but yeah, I typically don't use this. Another way would be with the slideshow, I believe. Yeah, record narration. Now this is much better. The quality is very good. In fact, you can even set the quality that you want. You can come down to I'd go with stereo personally, um, 16-bit at least. Now, the bigger the file, or the better the quality, the bigger the file. So you have to keep that in mind. Um, Now, another way is with Sound Recorder. I use the Windows Sound Recorder. It was, I don't know, back in, I don't know which version of Windows. Anyway, I did a video on it. I'll put a link in the description. You can, watch the video and it'll talk about the Sound Recorder. But I use this to record a lot of my sounds, and you can even do some editing with it. It'll remove the like the leading edge. It'll remove the trailing edge of the sound. It has some effect options: increase volume, increase speed, decrease speed, add echo, and reverse. I really don't play with any of this stuff. I just use it to record, and then I do a little quick editing, and that's, I'll use that. Um, so one of the other issues with PowerPoint is, let me go up here to animations. So for instance, if we come in here, look at the effect options, sound. Um, Notice this is how the extension on these files says wave. Let me come back down here. So the only thing PowerPoint accepts are WAV files. You cannot use MP3s, unfortunately. So it has that limitation. Now the sound recorder that I use, it only records in WAV. So I have that benefit, I suppose. But anyway, that's the drawback with PowerPoint, which I don't know. It's not a problem for me anyway. The other thing you can do is there are sounds in here already that you can use. Like here's a suction sound. So we can stick that in there. You can speed that up a little bit. Speed very fast. There we go. So if we play all that, there we go. And now the fourth way, let me get into that real quick. So one of the ways I go about recording sound is I'll find a website like this one that offers sound. And oh, by the way, I'm using EasyVid to record myself using FreeCam to record sounds. Yeah, it's kind of confusing. But oh, and to top it all off, I'm using Windows Sound Recorder to record my voice, because with EasyVid doesn't record voice and video at the same time. You can record the voice later, but it doesn't interleave the two. I have to do that later with Windows Movie Maker. So anyway, what I'll do basically is I'll click on record, and then I'll click play and done. And we'll save this then. I'm just going to call it test. We'll save that right in there. Okay. Recording. New recording. Cancel. And FreeCam's got a lot of nice utilities. Well, I shouldn't say a lot. It's much better than EasyVid in my opinion, anyway. EasyVid's got some goofy little quirks about it that it wants to mix in music. So if you want to get rid of the music, I use something like I'll use Sound Recorder, and I'll create a blank sound and then use that in EasyVid so that you don't hear any music in the, yep, it's a nightmare. Anyway, um, so what I'll do is I'll go to another website here. I did a search for convert MP4 to MP3, and I know I'm not doing MP3. I'm actually looking for a wave, but a lot of these websites will do all of them. So I'm going to come to this one here, select file. I am looking for test. Okay, so we're uploading that, and I want to select, I want wave. So there's wave right there, and convert. Oh, looks like I've converted too much. All right, so we'll just grab another one. That's a nice thing about the internet. You can find just about anything. So we'll just use this one right here. Um, Close that one. All right, choose file. Go back to our test. And we want to select wave. There's wave right there. And convert. And it doesn't take very long. It's a short audio clip. And there it is. All right, then we're going to click on download. And that'll go right into our folder. It looks like I've done this once before. Okay, so anyway, that's that. And now I'm going to use Sound Recorder to open that file. And by the way, I changed the name from test to boink because that's what the sound actually was. It was a boinking sort of sound. So I'm going to open that up and I'll just play that real quick. Yeah. Okay. So what I'm looking for in this area here, this is what you can see the fluctuations in the sound there. I want to catch that just before the sound starts. So right in there somewhere. And if you mess up, you can always reload it and try again. So I want to delete everything before that. And so it goes right into the sound now, but it doesn't last very long. It's only like maybe a second long. So I'm going to go with a second here. Might even be less than that. And I'm going to delete everything after that position. So now I have got about a 1 second audio clip. And that's pretty much it. There we go. And then we go to File, Save As. I'm just going to call it Boink 2. Save. All right, so I'm going to go in from, let's get rid of this, go back into PowerPoint real quick. So back where I had that suction sound, let's grab our boink, if we can find that real quick here. Boink 2. There we go. And throw that in there real quick. We can do that as well. So I think that pretty much wraps up everything for the audio portion of PowerPoint. Um, so I'll probably be, I may do some more stuff with the sound recorder in the Windows Movie Maker portion of this. But yeah, that's going to be it for now. So if you have any questions about PowerPoint or anything else I might have covered so far, please leave me a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer your questions. And now, on to Windows Movie Maker. This is Windows Movie Maker version 2012 build 16. I think it was the latest and greatest at the time before they stopped updating it. It was installed on Windows 7, I believe. I'm not sure that Windows 8 or 8.1 came with Movie Maker. But if you have an older version of Windows 7, you might have an older version of the Movie Maker. Some of the there are some minor features missing. I can't remember if it was the audio or captioning or whatever. But you may want to update your Movie Maker, and if you're using Windows 10, you can still install Windows Movie Maker. There's a video that I did covering that, so I'll put a link in the description for that as well. Okay, so all right, I'm going to do three animations here. I'm going to put in as much detail as far as the process goes as possible. So the first one I'm going to do here is with this lady's pinky. Um, Using the snipping tool and Microsoft Paint snipping tool. I'm pretty sure it's still available in Windows 10, but that's what the snipping tool looks like. So I went to a website, found a picture that I liked, snipped this picture and incorporated into, opened it up with Microsoft Paint. So what I did basically was go to View, zoom in, select transparent selection. Basically all I did was I just clipped her pinky, copied it, pasted it. Let me spread this out a little bit. There we go. And I rotated it 90 degrees. Let's see, what we go left maybe? Yeah. So anyway, it looked better the first time I did. And then I just moved it to where I wanted it, and then just filled in the where the knuckle should be. So what I ended up with was this. So we're gonna take these two pictures, and by the way, you can either drag pictures individually. I'm gonna hit delete on my keyboard to remove that, or if you grab them both, you can put them both in and they're both selected. Now if you want to select all of the pictures or slides in this case, hold down your shift button and then click on the other one, and then they're grouped basically. We can click on edit. I'm going to set up some timing here. I'm going to put in a quarter of a second, pressing 0.25 on my keyboard, pressing enter. There is a drop down here for other times, pre-selected times or preset times, but you can also go in and modify it manual if you like for shorter times. I think the lowest I've done was 0.1. I don't know, we might even be able to go lower, but we're using 0.25 here. Now, being that these are both selected, I can copy these and paste. I'm going to paste it 4 times. Paste, paste. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's right. So now if I play this, if I did it right, it looks like her pinky's moving. So then I found another picture. This narrator guy. Using the clipping tool once again. I'm going to set him for, I think it's 11 seconds. I don't have 11 in there. Type 11. Um, let's see. Let's see what this narrator looks like. Yeah. So you see how, yeah, I'll talk more about that a little bit later. And we have a little boy. Oh, and I want the narrator again. So I'm going to set him for 3 seconds. No, I'm sorry, 2 seconds. We'll set the little boy for 3 seconds. Okay. So then what I want to do is I want to add some sound to this. So let's bring this up. So this is a text-to-speech tool. It's free to use. You don't have to sign up. You don't have to, nothing doesn't cost you a dime. If you want to donate to them, you can. Now, I've had some issues with this in the past, but I emailed the support team at the TTS Tool, and they were really quick to respond on my email about the issue with the text-to-speech converter, and they rectified the solution right away. So that was really nice of them. So I'm going to go with the Amazon and select English. Now I have some stuff that I've pre-typed here to save some time. So we're going to go with Brian. Set volume default, rate default, pitch default, and copy this text in there. Select the check mark. If you play that,
there was this little boy and a lady. Every day, the little boy would walk past the lady's house. The lady would wave her little pinky at the little boy and say.
so then we can come in here. I'm going to put in a pause of 1 second. I went with that. Default, default, default. And then so you can see here how we can add multiple conversations to this thing, or multiple dialogues. Justin. All right, and we put it all together.
There was this little boy and a lady. Every day, the little boy would walk past the lady's house. The lady would wave her little pinky at the little boy and say.
Hi, little boy.
The little boy would say.
Hi, lady.
Okay, so now once you have that completed, there's a download option here, and it downloads as an MP3. And that's one of the nice things about Movie Maker compared to PowerPoint. Movie Maker will actually accept MP3 files. It'll also accept WAV files. I'm not sure what else it accepts, but it definitely does WAV and MP3. So I've already downloaded this. I already have it saved. So let's minimize that. I believe that was Narration 2. I also have it in a WAV, and I'm going to tell you why in just a moment. Even though Movie Maker accepts MP3 files, they don't always work real well for some reason. So if I stick this narration in there, for some reason that's not lining up correctly. I'm not sure what's up with that. So if I play
There
that,
was this little boy and a lady. Every day, the little boy would walk past the lady's house. The lady would wave her little pinky at the little boy and.
so it cuts it off for some, I don't know why. But what I found was that if I convert that to a wave instead, and there are websites out there you can do that. You can convert MP3s to waves and back and forth and everything. And I covered that in the PowerPoint portion of this video. So converting that to a wave, it works out beautifully.
There was this little boy and a lady. Every day, the little boy would walk past the lady's house. The lady would wave her little pinky at the little boy and say.
Hi, little boy.
The little boy would say.
Hi, lady.
And that's a simple animation just using still frames. And what you have to do here is, as you can see, you have to time the pictures with the voice. So I went in, earlier, and I figured out, how much time do I need to add, how much time does this need to play for to fit with the sound that I have pre-recorded. And you have to do that for each slide. So once you have the timing down, it works out beautifully. Looks great, in my opinion, anyway. Just, for simple animating. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this. Remove that. All right, so the next one we're going to look at here is stretch that a little more so I can see. There we go. I'm going to do this face. So once again, I'm just going to grab all of these all at once and drag them in. There we go. And I put together a cheat sheet here because I can't remember which order they were in. Um, okay, and it looks like I believe I set them for 0.1. There we go. I want to grab this one, copy, paste, move that over there so I don't have to keep doing this. Um, and grab this one, copy, paste, copy, paste, paste. I need both of these, so I'm hold down my shift key, select them both, copy, or I could have put them in individually, either way. Either way works. And I believe that's it. Okay, now, now once again I used the TTS tool to create the voice for this. So I'm going to drag that right about here. Yeah, that's pretty close. All right, now we're going to play this one real quick. And I created these pictures in Microsoft Paint, by the way. I use Paint for just about everything. I mean, if you want, you can take your if you want fancier text on your pictures, you can incorporate them into Publisher or PowerPoint. Both of them, they have very similar functionality to there's another program out there called Canva. The functionality is very similar. So if you want fancier text on your pictures for say maybe a thumbnail or something, you can go that route. But we're going to play this real quick.
How are you?
So that's just a simple animation using a face. So the next one I want to look at is, let's get these removed. Just hitting delete on my keyboard. Walking. So I've got some pictures here. Once again, I drew in Microsoft Paint. And, you know, I could have done this a couple different ways, I suppose. But instead of moving the body towards the box, what I did instead was I moved the box towards the body. And by doing that, I was able to keep the body in one position, and I only had to modify the legs in each drawing. So that's what worked for me. A lot of, oops, I actually deleted it all. There we go. So I am going to set this, I think, I'll go with 1 second, I think. So if we play that, get the simulation that the character is walking. Um, and then I created some footsteps. Now, if you watch the PowerPoint portion, then I talked about how I go to a website and find sounds for different things. So I'm going to add, and I used Windows Sound Recorder, which is this to edit the sounds. So it's a really handy tool, and that I cover in the PowerPoint section as well. So alrighty. So I'm going to take the footsteps here. I'm going to put that there, and I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to drop it here and here. Okay, so now, and I might have the timing wrong on these steps, I can't remember. yeah, that could be a little bit faster. So hold down my Shift key, select all of these, change that to 0.25. And this is just a, I think it's a point, it might be a 0.25 second clip or a point 0.1. I can't remember. It's a really short clip of sound. I think that mixed them all together when I did that. So one there. All right, so I'm going to put one there. One right there. And one right there. Now we'll give it a shot. That's a little bit smoother, right? Okay. So that's showing that's a simple animation walking. Now we can remove all this. And I'm right clicking on these, by the way. Right click, remove. Right click, remove. And I'm just hitting delete on my keyboard to drop those out real quick. So those are, three simple animations. Something else I want to look at real quick is if you noticed, let me drop some of these back in real quick. The face, for instance. You notice these black lines here at the top, and the pinky, for instance. Let me find the pinky. That was the narrator specifically. You notice the black on the screens. That's a lot of that's caused because of the go to project. You have a standard screen with has a aspect ratio of 4:3 and a widescreen which has an aspect ratio of 16:9. Um, I think widescreen is really becoming the standard now compared to the standard what the standard used to be. But if I switch between these, you can notice how the black space changes. And that's because I didn't, when I created the pictures, I didn't set the aspect ratio correctly before creating the pictures. And so that's why I end up with the black on the sides. So another visual representation of that would be, I actually set up some pictures with aspect ratio. So that's a aspect ratio of 4:3, and this is an aspect ratio of 16 to 9. So you can see with the widescreen, which is this is the proper aspect ratio for widescreen. There's no black space around the video, but for the 4:3 you can see the black. Now if I switch to the standard, you notice the black goes away. However, now the black shows up because it's the wrong aspect ratio for this resolution, or it's the wrong resolution. Anyway, it's wrong. So, that's something to consider when if you're doing an animation and using Windows Movie Maker. You want to make sure that you have your aspect ratio set up correctly, and it's not very hard to accomplish. Let's go back to Microsoft Paint. So if we come into here and I go to Properties, now that says 640 by 360, which is it's still the 16:9 aspect ratio. It's just a lower resolution is all that is. Um, Come in here to resize and click the pixels. So if I wanted to resize this, make it bigger, I could put in a 1080. This is supposed to be 720. There we go. 1280 by 720. It was 1280, not 1080. Click OK, and then it adjusts it for that larger size, a greater resolution. Um, So that's one way to adjust that in Paint. In fact, when I do my, if I do a thumbnail, I have that resolution set up already. So I have a thumbnail. It's called thumbnail blank. I use that as my template and to create my thumbnails off of that template, and it's already set with that. Go to properties here. It's already set with that resolution, so I don't have to do any tweaking or anything, and they fit the screen beautifully. So there's that. All right, one thing I forgot to mention was in regards to the sound recordings. Let me grab a picture real quick. Just drop something in there. Um, Windows Movie Maker does give you the ability to record a narration, and so you just click on record, and it'll record your voice basically. Um, so we can stop that, and it'll save it as a WMA file or Windows Media Audio, which I guess is another format that Windows Movie Maker accepts. So you've got the WAV files, MP3s, and the WMA. There are three audio files formats that it can use. Let me save that real quick. I don't know. I personally I just like using the sound recorder. I've always used it, and I guess it's just second nature for me. Let me mute my mic. I'll get some nasty feedback or it get like an echoing effect if I don't mute my mic and I go and play this. It'll record your voice basically. Um, so if you're in a situation where you're doing something and it sounds kind of like this, it'll record your voice basically. Um, and you know that you're getting feedback through your mic, and you'll have to, uh, depending upon how you're recording, um, you may have to mute the mic on the recorder. I don't know. Everybody's got a different setup. I suppose you could use the record narration option to record other sounds aside from just your voice, much like what I do with the sound recorder. Um, which if you refer back to that video, I show how you can set up the sound recorder to record other things than just voice. So the record narration, I believe, does have a similar functionality. So if you check out that video, you can see how that's done. Holy cow, it's been almost an hour. Nobody's going to want to watch this thing. In all actuality, though, an hour really isn't enough time to cover all the applications I discussed, let alone, just one of them by themselves. So anyway, I've got 10 minutes. I'm gonna try and do this real quick. What I want to do is I want to edit a clip or video and put in. I'm just gonna get into it. All right. So this is the stuff we did earlier. So we've got that. Um, Other thing we can do. So this is the what we did in PowerPoint, and this is a clip from when I created this video. So what happened was, let me scroll down a little bit here, incorporate them into Publisher or Microsoft Paint. See, I didn't mean to say Paint, I meant to say Microsoft PowerPoint. So to save a little bit of time here, what I'm going to do is, I've got these times figured out already. I want 3105. Past it. There's 05. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to do a split. And then I want 2783. So I'm almost there already. There we go, 2783. And I'm going to split that. And then I'm going to use the video volume here. I'm going to turn that volume down. So now if we listen to that, on your pictures, you can incorporate them into a publisher, and the sound is just gone. All right, so then what I did was I used the sound recorder to record myself saying, or PowerPoint. So, or PowerPoint. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, what some people will do, some people will go and do like a caption. They'll grab a caption, put a caption in their video, but yeah, you can do it a couple different ways. This is the way I wanted to do it. So, I'm actually going to modify the sound. So let me grab the audio now, and that is called PowerPoint. And I'm going, well, no, I take that back. Audio is only about a second long. And if we look at this video where I snipped it, it's about a little over 3 seconds. So what I want to do here is I only want about a second clip. So about 2883 is what I want. That's close enough, I guess. And then I'm going to go ahead and split that again, delete the last split. So I should be left with almost around a second. Come on, show up for me. There you go. About a second clip, roughly. And then I want to grab my audio and stick it in there. So now if we play that, pictures, you can incorporate them into a publisher or PowerPoint. Both of them, they have very similar functionality to there we go. And then of course, then there's the PowerPoint presentation. So now, what I want to do is convert this to video. So the way I typically do it is I'll go to Save Movie and then go with high definition display. Another way to do it would be to click on Home, and down here at the end, oops, that's not that. Click on this, and you have all these different save options to choose from. That's a little bit too much for me. I just go with my preferred method, Save High Definition Display, and we're just going to call this Simple Animation. Just going to throw the word sample in here. There. And then click on Save. And then I'll get back to you when it's finished. All right, it's finished. It only took a few minutes. So at this point, you can either play, open the folder, or close. I've already got a copy of it. In fact, I've got the folder open, so I'm just going to close that. All right, let's minimize that and bring up that. So here we go.
There was this little boy and a lady. Every day, the little boy would walk past the lady's house.
How
Yeah,
are you?
I think you got the point. But anyway, if you want, you can take your if you want, fancier text on your pictures, you can incorporate them into a publisher or PowerPoint. Both of them, they have very similar functions. So that was my fix. I mean, it may not sound the greatest, but the inflectuations in my voice were a little bit different from when I was doing the original recording. But still, all in all, it's not bad. Functionality to So that pretty much wraps this up, I guess. So, if there are any links that I forget to leave in the description, or if there's something you want more clarification on, leave me a comment. I'll do my best to get back to you. All right, thanks. Have a great day.